Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Takes Me Lakes podcast. I'm James, and I'm joined by Nash. We are here on a Monday at 7:30. We tried to do it yesterday.
That was so unnecessary.
What are you talking about?
Monday at 7:30.
All right, there, buddy. But I'm just saying we usually do record on Sundays, but
that's right. That's
Nash
true.
is doing whatever the heck on a Sunday night, so we couldn't do that.
He's doing homework.
Yeah. Homework that he procrastinated, most definitely, but yeah. So
okay.
I think this is the first. I can't remember the last time we did a pod on a school night, if we've ever done that, because we're usually both pretty filled schedule.
My sleeping hours are like disgusting, so it doesn't.
Yeah,
even,
you need to go to sleep at like a good hour today.
Got you.
Thanks. But yeah, Monday, unusual, not used to this type of environment, school night podcast, but hey, I'm here for it. We got some things to talk about. Some stuff has gone down in the sports world.
First shirt.
Yeah.
What you got on?
I got Jaylen Brown.
The Jaylen Brown t-shirt.
Shirt. Yeah, t-shirt. I got a bunch of player t-shirts.
The Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl champions.
When did that come in? Yeah,
like a couple weeks ago.
A couple weeks ago. Did you get it like immediately? Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. He was like, that's like the first thing he did.
Cool. Yeah, I didn't get any Patriots Super Bowl t-shirts or anything because there were just too many. I was just like, whatever, we'll just win another one. So, that wasn't really.
That's actually kind of valid.
Yeah. No, but that I have a Red Sox World Series shirt, but yeah, I never really like for you, I can get it. Like the Chiefs win the Super Bowl, you get it, but like when the Pats won, I was just like so used to it. I was just like, damn, all right, they won again. It was nothing like crazy.
Yeah.
But if they would win like next year, I would go crazy. But like when they won, they'd won whatever 4 out of.
I bet you got one for 28-3 though.
Actually, I did not.
Because that was so ridiculous.
I've been wanting to get like a 28-3 like poster I could put up in my room of like the scoreboard. I've been wanting to do that.
Here's the problem. Like it's so funny, but the scoreboard for that year was so ugly.
Yeah.
All the posters and stuff look so bad.
Yeah, that is fair. I was about to get like a phone case with like 23 or something like that, but that went down the drain. But all right, yeah. Well, we're on the topic of NFL football, and one big thing, the biggest news to happen in definitely months, I'd say. There's been some small things here and there, but Aaron Rodgers. We knew it was going to happen. Aaron Rodgers finally traded to the New York Jets. He was traded.
Coach Aaron.
Shout out. I have not talked to him about that. I need to text him about that. But yeah, shout out Coach Aaron. He's a Jets fan. I'm sure he's loving it. But it was what? Let's see. It was Aaron Rodgers at number 15, right?
Let me pull it up because the terms of this were actually like unbelievable.
Yeah. I want to say it was Aaron Rodgers 15 for 13, a conditional first, and a second. Let me see this.
It looked.
Also, Adam Schefter broke it on air. That's pretty cool. But yeah, okay. Aaron Rodgers, pick number 15, and a 2023 fifth rounder for 13, 2023 second, number 42, a sixth, and a
this
conditional.
Year is 2023, right? I'm like, I don't get enough sleep to like know what year it is.
Yes.
So, that's this year's draft.
Yes. So they get the first and second from this year, and the first next year if he plays 65% of the plays, which I think is pretty given. Who knows, because it's football, he can get injured, but he's been generally pretty healthy his whole career. So yeah, so second that'll most likely turn into a first. So I think that's a really good trade for the Packers.
It's a good trade for the Packers, but it's also a good trade for the Jets.
Yeah.
Like, I would give both teams an A, because, like, Rodgers wasn't going to play, or maybe not an A, but, like, Rodgers was not going to play.
No matter what, he was
not going to play. And so, to get what is likely 2 firsts and a second, although you are giving up a first. So it's like moving up 2 spots and then getting a first and a second for Rodgers. Yeah, just solid.
You could basically say those 2 firsts cancel, and so it's Aaron Rodgers for a second and a most likely first.
For the Jets, I definitely like the fact that they were able to get that first back
Yeah.
is really good, especially if they can make a push next year and be
Yeah.
a good team, and that pick loses value.
Both the picks, it's a second and the
Yeah. Yeah,
um
exactly.
yeah, or I guess either it'd be a second that turns into a first, but yeah, I mean the whole thing was they didn't want to give up pick number 13. I think that was a whole like deciding factor is they didn't want to give up 13 and they were just like, "All right, we'll give it 13, you have to give us back 15. We'll just swap first." And so they jumped past the Pats who are at 14. I don't necessarily. I mean, I think
And
the
so,
only thing I have in mind for it can make a difference is if the Pats are looking to take a wide receiver and they jump them for that. But
yeah.
yeah,
So what it and we're gonna be just special sneak peek right after this. We're recording a draft special episode. So we're not gonna talk too much about the draft, but that does have some ramifications, like maybe suggests who the Jets are looking to get
yeah,
in that 13 to 15 range. Could be looking offensive line. They've had some struggles there.
yeah.
Could be looking really anywhere on the defense.
hmm
Secondary, you can always use a corner.
Yeah. But
So
what's next for Zach Wilson? That's a big that
I
is
don't care
so
that much,
yeah.
honestly. He's
Number two
not
overall
good at
pick.
football. He's
Yeah.
just not. I mean, he's like Josh Rosen. It's like,
hmm Josh Rosen was
obvious.
what, like pick 9, 10, I think, right?
Yeah, that
He was
sounds
I'm not
right.
saying 10,
And they
but
traded him after a year.
yeah, that was crazy.
Um, it's just the problem is Zach Wilson is just obviously not good enough. And so,
Yeah.
like, yes, he's got some potential, like with the arm strength and the escapability, but he just doesn't make good enough decisions to play in the NFL. And so it's like, honestly, what's next for Zach Wilson is like the Canadian Football League.
He could definitely have a well. Nobody wants like they can't trade him. They can't
Yeah.
cut him because of the cap hit because he's the second overall pick. But I think he could have a backup job somewhere for maybe a couple years like Josh Rosen did, and then he might be phased out of the league, or maybe some team like I don't know if Sam Howell doesn't work out, the Commanders take him, something like
Okay.
that. If
Yeah.
they
Here's my problem is like maybe for a team that has a good quarterback already, that
yeah.
like maybe that's where you back up. But
hmm
like everybody else who has like if you don't have an elite quarterback, then you can't really have Zach Wilson as your backup, right? Because like I feel like teams look in their backup consistency, right?
yeah.
And so like
I
that's
think
the
he'd
entire
honestly be
issue with
more like
Zach
a
Wilson.
third string guy, like
Yeah.
like
Like a
sec this
practice squad guy
yeah like
where like
develop him.
if he
Yeah.
starts throwing like bombs in practice and like dotting everybody up, then you move him up.
Yeah. Kind of like
Yeah.
how the Steelers like traded for
Yeah.
Dwayne Haskins, rest in peace. And like he
Yes.
was third he was a third string guy and they took him from the then Redskins and they just like put him on the practice squad, tried
Yeah.
to develop him and
And
that similar to that.
and that I mean, not to go on a tangent, but I mean that was just so sad too because there were like by all accounts, Haskins was like about to have a career year. Even if he wasn't
hmm
like in the starting job, he was progressing like
Yeah, I
extremely
heard lots
quickly.
of good things
Um,
out of camp.
and so honestly, speaking of the Steelers, that's one team I could see him ending up at. Like,
Mhm.
if you want to push Kenny Pickett to
Like
be a
this
sort of
year, like
starting
end of
cal,
this
yeah,
year.
yes.
Mhm.
Well, I guess not.
I
I
think
guess
he's gonna be a
not with the
Jet for
cap hit.
sure this year.
That's the issue is the money.
Yeah,
But
he still has
that's
2 more years.
definitely so. I guess I didn't even think about that, but consider like look for him when that contract is up and the money's not an issue anymore. Look for him to end up in a landing spot similar to where Pittsburgh is now. I'd say
Yeah,
is a pretty safe assumption.
yeah. He has 30, 20 mil in dead cap, 11 mil next year. It's
Oh,
pretty
that's
rough.
so bad.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, 9 mil cap hit, 11 mil cap hit this year. It's pretty rough. But yeah, that's definitely an interesting situation. Jets now. I mean, you look at their team and they kind of don't have that many flaws, if any flaws. I mean, Aaron Rodgers
Yeah,
he wasn't necessarily great last year. I don't know. I mean, I know a lot of things went on behind the scenes with just the person he
He's still good
is.
though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
I
still
mean, yeah,
good. That team
he's
was
a
kind of rough.
frustrating kind of a character where it's like one of the most loved quarterbacks of all time, and then just like starts to create some drama for like really no reason, like regardless of how you feel about his stances on certain things, just like very much a drama
Yeah.
queen, if you
Yeah,
will. And
he loves the
so
drama.
he loves the drama. And so just kind of wrapping this up, I think the Jets will be good, but it's also a bit too early to say because a lot of those like non-holes are filled by young players, and it's like you still don't really know what's going to happen. Like obviously they have some budding stars, but there's still a lot of unknown with the rest of that team, and then there's some unknown with Aaron Rodgers as well.
Yeah.
So I'd
Yeah.
put them, especially in a tough division. They're behind the Bills for sure.
I don't know, but I don't know for sure. I think they're right there with the Bills. The Bills are
I
kind of on the
think
decline.
mm,
I mean,
no,
look at
no.
the Bills.
Let's
I
not
mean,
get
Josh
ahead of
Allen's obviously still
ourselves.
great, but dude, that defense kind of is falling apart.
It's old,
Yeah, it's old and it's
but
falling apart. Um, the offense, they can't. I mean, they've tried to just ride, Josh Allen's arm all the way to the Super Bowl, and it hasn't been successful. I don't know. I just think that team. I think that team's peak was last year. This
Josh
year I
Allen
didn't think
breakup
that
comeback season.
he broke up with his girlfriend. Or was it his wife?
I
His
think
girlfriend.
I think so. Let me just confirm this.
Yeah, before you just say
I
that
seen it. Just
blindly.
make sure I didn't see it like on a meme account.
Yeah, but I think the prime Bills years, the Bills were not that great this year. And I kind of who did they lose? They lost to that's right, they got destroyed by the Bengals. I think their prime year to win was not this past year, but the year before. And the year before that when they lost to the Chiefs both times. But I'd say the Jets are right there, if
Okay,
not better than the Bills. All right, what do you got?
so she unfollowed him on Instagram.
All right, so we're just assuming they broke up because of that.
Well, I mean, yeah, yes, we
Let's
are.
not okay.
Josh Allen. I mean, this is all like tabloids too. I feel like kind of ridiculous right now.
Yeah.
But I think it's pretty safe to assume. I mean, that's like there's at least some turmoil.
And that really plays a factor into
Yeah, comeback
that
season.
affects
He's
the
dialed.
Aaron Rodgers
He's
legacy.
dialed in.
Yeah.
How does this affect LeBron's legacy?
Dude, I've been saying that just like randomly, like
Bro,
the past couple of days.
you're
So
you're such a nerd for that.
it's so funny to say. I don't know why. But
It's hilarious.
no, it is pretty funny. But yeah, I think the Jets are right there, if not better. I mean, I think they have a better team than the Bills. The Bills defense, like I said, isn't great. Their offense even
Yeah.
isn't great. I
But
mean, obviously
honestly, I like the Dolphins. I think
Dolphins.
especially now they don't have their pick, right?
Yeah,
No, they do.
they lost it in
No, they
tampering.
lost it.
The tampering
Oh yeah,
thing.
that's right.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. I knew they didn't
Or
have their pick,
did
and
they
I
lose
was
it?
like,
No. So they had a pick. They had two picks from I forget what from, but they traded one for Bradley Chubb, and then they lost one in tampering. What did they have? Oh, they had the other one from the Niners, I think.
yeah,
I want to say from the Trey Lance trade. But
yes.
yeah, that sounds right. Um, so
But
yeah.
yeah, so I think with a good, I mean, their draft not going to be great this year, but I think the Dolphins are a scary team. Like Tua,
Mhm.
obviously, like injury concerns, and it's really
Yeah.
all dependent on him. Like we said the same thing last year, but like
Yeah.
the defense, not great, but underrated, and they have playmakers, right? Like it wasn't a good defense, but we saw them make plays in big moments. Um, and then obviously, if Tua is healthy, he was looking very,
Yeah,
very
it was
good
looking
at the
really
beginning
good.
of last season. So I think honestly, I'd still put the Bills up there, and then I'd put the Jets and Dolphins sort of fighting. But then the Bills are not like far ahead, so I could easily see like a three-way fight for the title. And I think the
Mhm.
Patriots are just gonna be like dead last.
Yeah.
But
I
I
think
mean,
that,
honestly, the Patriots are so consistent
Yeah.
that like
They're just gonna be
like
feisty.
one.
They always are.
I have a feeling that one of those three teams I just mentioned will likely like blow up. Like either the Jets thing will just not work at all.
Yeah.
The Dolphins will collapse. Tua, so there'll be some problems with Tua or something. Or the Bills will just take like their fall off way more than we expect.
Yeah.
And the Patriots will get like third. But
yeah. I mean,
they're not.
Yeah. If I had to pick it, I'd say the Jets will finish first. I think that the Jets. I think the Pats could easily beat the Jets both times. They've always had the Jets number. They played Aaron Rodgers particularly well, in general. But I'd say Jets finish first.
I just feel like that's a little bit of recency bias. Like, because I still feel like, the Bills win pretty much categorically on offense. Like, offensive line, neither are great.
Yeah.
But and the Jets win at running back, but we'll see with Breece Hall's ACL thing.
Yeah.
But like weapons, quarterback, offensive line pretty equal. Like
weapons,
the
that
Bills,
Jets have better.
no.
Yeah, no.
Am I forgetting about a signing?
The
No,
Jets,
it's just the young guys.
I mean, it's Garrett Wilson, Alan Lazard. They signed.
Lazard, yeah. I mean, Lazard is not. I mean, he's good. They still have Elijah Moore.
No, they traded him to the Browns. Remember?
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Corey Davis. Right. Yeah. Okay.
Corey Davis.
They signed Mecole Hardman.
Yeah.
Zonovan Knight. Yeah.
If Mecole Hardman or Mecole Hardman is healthy, he's dangerous. But I mean Diggs, Davis, and what's his name?
Their number 3 guy is Khalil Shakir.
I mean, yeah. Dalton Knox is good.
Yeah.
I still take the I take the Bills offense like definitely.
Mm-hmm.
And then I mean defense, it's a matter of like, do the old guys step up or like do the young guys take a leap? I think it's far too early to say. Like we haven't even gotten through the draft training camp. I think it's far too early to say that the Jets are ahead of the Bills. I think we can say that after the draft, depending on how.
I think that Jets defense is like really, really good. Like looking at it,
it looks It looks.
They
really
are good, and they were good. They were really, really good last year.
Let's pull it up, and then we'll have to move on to baseball. But I'm gonna pull up the depth chart.
You look at that depth chart, and then you look at the Bills depth chart, and it's just like, ugh.
Okay, but the Bills defensive depth chart has never been good. Like it's never looked good. It just has. It's never been like a flashy.
I mean, the Jets had a better defense than the Bills. Jets had like a top 3 defense in the league last year, and they were all young guys, and they're only gonna get better.
Like, listen to these weapons. I mean, like Wilson, Davis, Lazard, Hardman.
I'd take Garrett Wilson.
That's just the realm of mediocre. Tyler Conklin and Uzoma.
Garrett Wilson is top 15 mediocre. Already. What? You said Garrett Wilson was mediocre?
No, I said Uzoma and Conklin are mediocre. I say Garrett Wilson is he's fringe top.
The only good weapon on the Bills is Diggs. Gabe Davis is not good.
Okay, so I think I'd take Jermaine Johnson to take the starting spot over Carl Lawson this year, but who knows really? I'd say they'll probably platoon. Carl Lawson is underrated for sure. Yeah, but like if you're Jets fans, you would hope that Jermaine Johnson takes that leap. But I mean, Solomon Thomas, Quentin Williams is a star.
Great.
John Franklin Myers is underrated. Good. Yeah.
Their linebackers.
Yeah, their linebackers are not good. It's Jamin Sherwood, Quincy Williams, Chaz Surratt.
DJ Mosley had a really good year last year, though.
Yeah, but he's old. So, like, I'd put him at good, but
they might have the best secondary in the league, though.
He's there as a leader. That's such a crazy thing.
Who has the best secondary in the league, then?
Not them.
Yeah, Sauce Gardner and DJ Reed might be the best cornerback duo in the league.
Okay, let's not get ahead of ourselves with DJ Reed.
What's the better? DJ Reed is great. He was so good last year.
DJ Reed, was he? Last year was his rookie year.
No, he was on the Seahawks before.
On the Seahawks.
Yeah.
How many years has he been in the league?
Oh wow, it was his first year with the Jets, but let me see. He was on the Seahawks for like 3-4 years maybe. He's 26. He's
Chuck Clark and Jordan Whitehead at safety. I mean,
that's not bad at all.
It's not bad. It's not bad, but it's not like best secondary in the league. DJ Reed is not like a star at
DJ
cornerback.
Reed. Okay,
I think
DJ Reed.
Sauce is.
He was on the Niners for 2 years. Seahawks
DJ
for 2
Reed is probably
years.
like top. What is he like? Top 25.
Top 20.
I mean, yeah.
Sauce Gardner might be the best corner in the league right now.
That's just a crazy thing to say.
No, it's not. I mean,
because
maybe
he had an amazing year last year, but we've only seen 1 year of him.
Who cares? I don't care if it's 1 year. It's 1 sustainable year where he played 17 games and he was great in all of them. That's not no. Like, I don't know who else.
He was the best corner in the league last year, but like,
okay, if he was the best corner in the league last year, and that's the 1 year he played, that's not unreasonable to say he's the best corner in the league right now. I mean, the only other guys you can maybe put in the conversation with him are, I'd say, what's his face, Jair Alexander.
Where did Marcus Williams go?
Oh, is he? Where did he go? He went to He's still on the Ravens.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. He signed a huge deal
the
with
Ravens secondary could make a resurgence. I think they've struggled with.
That's right. Jalen Ramsey's on the Dolphins now too.
Yeah, Jalen Ramsey. The Cleveland Browns secondary looks good if they can stay healthy. Greg Newsome, Denzel Ward, Greedy Williams,
I'd take
John
Jets
Johnson,
over that easily.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers, it's just like a bunch of underrated players. Eric Stokes and Rasul Douglas played really well last year alongside Jair Alexander. Safety duo was Darnell Savage and Adrian Amos. Overrated secondary. I mean,
no,
yes,
I said it's a good secondary. I said it's a good secondary.
It's a good secondary.
Yeah.
Yeah. Miami Dolphins. I mean, Byron Jones can't walk, so there's that.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not even really on the team anymore.
Yeah.
Did they release him officially?
I think so.
But I mean, they could be. I'll take the Jets over them.
Yeah.
The Buffalo Bills with that safety duo, Tre'Davious White, Elam, first round pick last year, Taron Johnson, if he's consistent, like.
Yeah. But
the Chargers, if everybody stays healthy and like plays up to snuff, like which never happens.
It's
like,
not. Yeah.
Okay, I will say, my point about the Chargers last year was completely proven right. You remember how
I know. What exactly did you say?
I basically said that like every single year the Chargers go into the season and their roster looks like the most terrifying.
I don't know about that.
Ever known.
But the thing is, the only time
that's how it always goes. And then every single year they just like fall apart.
Yeah, the thing was this year they were actually like good though, but they just got like
they're always
Brandon
good,
Staley.
and they just like get hurt or like.
I mean, this year
struggle to win games, like regardless of the talent. The defense.
I mean, this year they were 10-7, and if Brandon Staley wasn't an idiot, they would have beat the Jaguars, and they were right there with the Chiefs both times. But. Yeah, I mean, I thought they were actually good this year. They just got so unlucky. J.C. Jackson,
good, but people were picking them to win the division,
which was completely reasonable. Like
exactly, it was completely reasonable. But my point is that people had been doing that, or at least putting them right behind the Chiefs for like years. That's how it's been. It's because their defense especially always looks amazing at the beginning of the year. Their secondary always looks stacked. They always bring in like a new pass rusher or something, and they look so deadly, and then they just fall off a cliff.
I mean, especially was Khalil Mack healthy at all?
A little bit. He was healthy. Was he? Not like.
Let me see this.
I'd actually played a lot. I mean, I
want to say, he played. He played all his games.
He played all his games, but he wasn't that good.
Yeah,
8 sacks. I mean, it's like decent, but it's not Khalil Mack.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's going to be the AFC is just stacked, dude. It's going to be great. It's going to be so fun to watch.
What are we at timing wise?
I don't know. I started late, but we're probably at like 30 minutes, 25 maybe.
So let's go ahead and hop into baseball.
Okay.
You start it just because you I mean, I always need to refresh myself. You know how
Yeah.
it is. The Royals are so bad. But I mean, I've been
Royals
keeping up
suck.
with it. The
Yeah.
Royals are. We did win a great comeback against the Angels, I think,
Did you
last
know?
night. But honestly, I'm too tired to remember. Like, oh, it was
Yeah.
like 2 nights ago. I think, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many.
Muncie, like finally having a resurgence is
Yeah,
so amazing.
Muncie after a really off year last series, he's coming back, which is nice. But
I mean, that's just how baseball is. Like, if you
yeah,
make it to that level, it's just like kind of random if you're gonna
yeah,
play good or not.
yeah. That's why baseball is the hardest sport to follow along because there's just so many
So
guys.
many
I mean, there's so many
players.
players in the league, and just so many people can have random great years and then fall off the next year, or be consistently great, and you can have like no clue who they are.
Okay,
But
so just to interrupt really quickly,
yeah,
on Saturday night, it looks like we were down 2 runs in the ninth and scored five.
who runs in that dang? Hmm.
We're like that.
Yeah,
Five and
good for you guys,
16
man.
on the up and up.
Yep, 17, 5 and 17, actually.
Yeah.
1-12 at home. Not the greatest. Not the
Yeah.
greatest.
It's there's rumors that they're building a new stadium, like that. Like I think they've approved plans for a new stadium in downtown, which
Mm-hmm.
actually stinks because I love Kauffman Stadium
Yeah.
and it's like right next to the Chiefs. But like we'll see.
Yeah.
Maybe
I
it'll be cool.
mean, yeah. I
And
mean,
and the all powder blue jerseys are tough too.
yeah, they are. But that's just about. I think
Yeah.
that's all the necessary time you need to give to the
Put on the
Royals.
Royals. Yeah.
Yeah, but
It's when I mean the AL Central mediocre as always.
yeah.
Um,
But I mean, you talked about moving stadiums, and the Athletics just bought some land in Las Vegas area, and they will be
oh,
likely
did
moving to
they?
Las Vegas. They're
The
building like
4-18
obviously,
Athletics.
yeah, building an obviously
Yep.
state of the art stadium, blah blah blah, that good old stuff. So that's interesting. Kind of sad, Oakland. I don't know. It's just obviously it's gonna be different and stuff, but. I mean, whenever the people, say, oh, the A's don't have fans, blah, blah, blah. But when the A's are good, the Coliseum gets packed. Like you go back into like 6 years ago when they won like
Oh, for
90
sure.
some games and it's packed. Like yeah, I don't know. It's just obviously when they're 4-18, nobody's gonna go to their games, stuff like that. There's gonna be like 2,000 people there, but that's definitely interesting.
Dude,
Kind of sad at the same time, but
the East is stacked.
the
The
East
AL
is so
East,
good.
my
I mean,
lord.
it's
And the
it's
and the Red Sox have plummeted to the bottom.
at
And
a
it's not
winning
even like
record.
at any fault of their own. They're just not playing great.
I mean, the
They're
Red
just
Sox just the thing is they've won all but two series this year, except the two that they've lost, they got swept by the Rays and then lost like 3 out of 4 to the Pirates or something like that. So, I mean, the Red Sox, they I don't know how to feel, but they're so we can play so well one day and be horrible the
yeah.
next day. I mean, the pitching, our starting pitching has been one of the worst, if not the worst, in the majors. I mean,
Rafa Devers is like or Rafi, whatever y'all call
yeah,
him,
Rafi
is
Devers
like
is a top 10-5
keeping
player
the
in
team
MLB.
afloat.
But
Yeah,
we have
he's
some guys
a
that have
dog.
stepped up. We're just waiting for Trevor Story to come back. Some bullpen
Yeah,
guys
for
been good.
sure.
Kenley Jansen has been locked down. He's like
Locked
seven
down.
for seven
And
on
and and
saves.
and Kenley Jansen too had been like steadily declining into his
Hmm.
30s, and now he's like resurging as like a dog, which is
Yeah,
very cool to see.
yeah,
The Orioles, I keep wanting to call them the Ravens. It's like textbook example of how you should rebuild. Shout out Brentley Powers.
yeah, yeah. There you go, this guy.
Super fan. Yeah.
Yeah, Rays 19-3, Orioles 14-7, both Blue Jays and Yankees 13-9. It's gonna be a great battle. No division has ever finished with all the teams over 500. But if
And
there
they
is
won't.
no, but the thing is, there is a chance they do it this year because there's new scheduling, and so each of the
Oh,
division
that's right.
opponents play each other less. And so if there was a year that it would happen, it probably would be this year because
Or like
obviously the
subsequent
Rays,
years.
yeah, because obviously the Rays, the Yankees, and Blue Jays, I think will pretty easily finish over 500. Orioles are gonna be probably there. We'll see how they do, and then Red Sox will be kind of the deciding factor. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. I mean, all those teams are when they're at their peak, they're pretty really good teams. So we'll see how that goes. But
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, there's other
Um,
surprises. Rangers 14-7.
yeah. Well, I don't know if the Rangers are surprised. The Rangers, to me, it's kind of like a similar thing to the Chargers that we just talked about, where it's like they always have these signings and then always like disappoint. And then this year they're actually looking to be
Yeah, I
good.
mean, you look at they
They
weren't expected to. I mean, they were getting picked behind the Mariners, Astros, and right there with the Angels. So,
Yeah.
I mean, obviously we're only a couple weeks through the season, so
The
we'll see how the rest.
Angels and the Mariners, I mean, the Mariners have fallen off since last year.
I mean, the Mariners 10-12 teams that started off bad. It's baseball. You can build your
Rodgers is
roster.
so good.
Yeah, he's so
Um,
good. Pirates are 16-7. That's just awesome. Brewers 15-7. Cubs are off to a nice start. Definitely, yeah. The NL is definitely the most surprising for sure.
there's a lot of like, yeah, I mean, like, what is Arizona doing at the top?
Arizona is a fun team. If everyone listening, if you wanna follow a team this year that like is quote unquote America's team, like the Kings or the Mariners last year, it is definitely the Diamondbacks. They
Yeah,
are full of young guys. They
yeah.
got that locker room cancer, Madison Bumgarner out there off their team. He got DFA'd. They're just full
Bro,
of young
the
guys.
Mad Bum.
Yep, Mad Bum. Corbin Carroll is awesome. He's like
Corbin Carroll's
just
a
a
dog.
lock to win NL Rookie of the Year essentially already.
And that's so crazy that we can lock that in. That just shows how good
Yeah,
he's been.
he's so good. Um but also he went to the same high school as my mom, so that's pretty cool in Seattle. But yeah,
Yeah,
Dodgers
I
are 12
mean
and 11.
Pittsburgh would be America's team, but nobody likes Pittsburgh.
And they're gonna I mean they're 16-7. It's kind of hard to say they're gonna fall off, but they just are. I mean, you look at the guys in their team, and they are a fun team. But Andrew McCutchen having resurgence going back to Pittsburgh is pretty awesome too. But yeah, there's gonna be Braves and Mets is gonna be a great race. They're both right there at the top. Um, I mean that's just kind of the general standings. NL West, Padres, they've
Yeah.
Juan Soto's been kind of stumbling. Xander Bogaerts has been great for them. Dodgers are 12 and 11, but they're gonna end up winning 100 games because of the Dodgers. So who cares? But yeah, I mean, it's definitely
Ooh,
been
100 games is a stretch. I mean, they should
no,
win
they're
100
they're
games.
gonna win. I mean, the only reason I'd say
I just like if they just keep up the mediocre pace, they could still like turn it on and be good and win the division, but just end up like I see them as more like a mid to high 90s.
I mean, I guess. I mean, the
Definitely,
only
definitely
reason
100 wins is just like it also just
nah,
feels like an impossibility to say in the game of baseball. It's just like
I mean, I think it's I if I were to bet the Dodgers get 100 wins right now, I would easily say yes. Like 100%. I would put money on it. But um
I mean, yeah, but I wouldn't call it a guarantee.
yeah, we'll see how that goes. But
They're just like so
um
talented though.
yeah, I mean, I want to say
I don't understand how anybody hits Dustin May.
how
It's like
yeah,
so
he's
disgusting.
disgusting. He's disgusting. But I mean, the past like 2020 they went 43-17. It's like the best winning percentage of all time. They were going to win 100 games if that was a full season, but so they've if you're counting that, they've won 100 games. What is that? One, two, three, four, five out of the past 6 seasons. Like Jesus.
I know it's just
Uh,
not like,
yeah, it's just
especially with a slow
absurd.
start, it's just not a guarantee. But it is like they should win 100 games.
Yeah.
And if they don't, it's a disappointing season.
Yeah. But yeah, they're off to a mediocre start, but they'll be fine.
I mean, just like any other players you want to highlight. I personally am
Players,
glad to see Acuna back. He hasn't been like some unbelievable, but he looks
yeah.
healthy.
I mean, players I can highlight. There's been certain guys. I mean, Bryson Stott for the Phillies has been off to like an incredible start.
Yep,
He started off like
electric.
I want to say it was like a 17 game hit streak. Larissa
Yeah,
Rise for the Marlins is just
the
constant
average,
singles left
the
and right.
average hitter.
Yeah.
He was hitting like 300 at the top of the Twins lineup for like a couple years.
Yeah. Kelnick for the Mariners after sucking his first like what 2 years is finally
Yeah,
showing his full potential and having a really good year. And then you guys like who've previously shown to be good, like Alex Verdugo, who's finally really going into his full form there, which is nice. But and you got the guys, Trout's doing his thing, Otani's doing his thing, pitcher wise, Garrett Cole's doing his thing. I mean,
yeah.
he's doing more than his thing. He's actually been like the best pitcher in baseball, which is kind of surprising. But
But I
uh,
mean, that's kind of his thing.
yeah, I mean, it's this what he does.
Um, yeah, the
But
Phillies, despite Bryson Stott's outpour, have been like disappointing as the World
Yeah.
Series champions. And I mean, that's how it is with
Or
baseball.
well,
I mean,
NL
teams just
NL
like,
champions.
there's just very, yeah, sorry, not
Yeah.
World Series champions. The
Yeah.
Astros. I knew that too.
Yeah, I know, I
I
know.
swear.
I know.
My bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that's just how it is with baseball. I mean, there's no consistency unless you just have like the most talented roster.
Yeah. I mean, there's been like teams like the Giants 2021. That team had no business winning 107 games or whatever they won. And they still lost in the NLDS. But that team had, and that kind of them winning 107 games kind of ruined their team in a sense that they thought they like had a good team and then they got all these guys and now they kind of suck. But yeah, it's just a really like any given year. Um Anything can happen. I mean, the Phillies last year, nobody, if at the
Yeah,
start of the playoffs, if you were told they made the World Series, you would have thought that was like
yeah,
absurd. With like the
yeah. No,
Braves,
and I
Mets,
mean
and the
like
Dodgers there.
that Giants thing. I mean, it was like a lot of homegrown guys, and then they brought in some guys who just didn't perform. I mean, like Logan Webb,
Yeah,
like a
dog. He got
mid
extended
round
too,
pick,
by the way.
mid round pick. Shout out Dan Murray. I think probably helped scout him. Former neighbor
Mm-hmm.
in Kansas City, head
Really,
scout for the
that's
Giants. Yeah,
cool.
he's like the head pitching scout for the Giants. Actually, let's see. We'll get him on the pod. We'll get him on.
Okay, all right. We need to get
Um,
Jeff Passan in the pod too.
Shout out Jeff Passan.
Yeah. The
Anyway,
funny little. I love when
all the
Jeff. You. Sorry, go ahead.
no, all the baseball guys living in Kansas City.
Yeah.
Um,
And yet they have the
but
worst
yeah,
franchise. But
facts.
shout out Jeff Passan for tweeting out extremely funny tweets whenever somebody has like a perfect game or a no hitter going. Like I'll read the tweet out. I'll read the tweet that he
I
put
mean, yeah,
out
he's just
yesterday.
hilarious.
Like yesterday, Eduardo Rodriguez had a perfect game in the seventh, and he was like, uh, what is this? Detroit versus Baltimore has been a wonderful pitching matchup so far, and Eduardo Rodriguez in particular has been very, very good. And I saw that, and I immediately was like, okay, he has a no hitter, a perfect game, and he did. I was like, all right, but so shout out Jeff Passan. Hopefully, he's a future pod participant.
Yeah,
We can get him
he's
interviewed.
hilarious.
Yeah, he's a good guy and he's funny for sure.
Okay, the illegal substance stuff is getting way out of hand, dude. The Max Scherzer suspension is so
Yeah,
ridiculous.
that's an interesting situation. Um,
And
it's
like all the new rules, just like in general, it's like it's good for the game, but it's also like
yeah,
there's definitely like a learning curve with it. So like I think next year we'll see it like better, and this year it's just like a little bit frustrating.
yeah, but yeah, and then really, I mean, with that, with kind of the new wave of just stuff going on in MLB, I think the pitch clock's been great. I love it. When games are over in like 2 hours, I mean, we've kind of touched on this before, but when games are over in 2 hours, hour 45, it's awesome. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, we're in the thick of it. It's definitely, I mean, we're what, like, I want to say more than like we're like 1/7 of the way through or something like that of the season. So definitely a lot more to go. And we'll keep touching on it as the season goes on. And
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, do you want to talk about something else or you do want to kind of move on and finish this
I
and
mean,
talk about the go through a little draft?
well, I think we should probably just lightly touch on how the playoffs are going.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, like, I mean, some of the series are amazing. Shout out to Sixers for getting the sweep.
Yeah.
Shout out Ice Trey for stealing a game from the Celtics.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, I think some all-time series are shaping up.
Yeah.
Like Heat Bucks could be a
Giannis
good
is
one.
back for game 4, by the way.
Giannis is back, but I mean, like,
Who knows
I
what?
mean,
Who knows
yeah,
how
he
it'll
might
be?
he might not play for Game 5.
Yeah.
That's just kind of how it looks with that kind of a thing. De'Aaron Fox doubtful for Game 5 against
Yeah,
the
he's
Warriors.
gotta play though. He's gotta
He'll
play.
play. Yeah.
Yeah. It's at Sacramento. Did you watch game 4 of that
Yeah.
yesterday?
The
That was
timeout, unbelievable.
God, Steph sold that. I mean, he didn't, but he almost sold that game. I was having a discussion with Sapboy, shout out Coach Aaron, about
Sapboy, shout out Coach Aaron.
yeah, he was saying how Steph, it was kind of a hot take of his, how Steph isn't actually like clutch. Like, you know what I mean? Like he was saying that Steph isn't actually clutch because like for example yesterday, but obviously in just other situations, like he hasn't actually been like a clutch player. I mean, sure he's won championships, but
I mean, yeah, he makes those like crazy threes at like the end of quarters. And
yeah,
then the one time he did it, like it was like one time against the Thunder.
yeah, like he was saying 2016 finals game 7, he like fourth quarter, he sold
Choked.
that game against Kevin Love. He could not score with whatever minute left. In
Yeah.
the other finals, I mean, like he never was really put in positions to be like a clutch player, And
Yeah.
I said like the only like time, like the main time I could like imagine Steph as being a clutch player was game 4 of the finals last year, when he had like 40 something and like a pivotal game when the Celtics were up 2-1. And I kind of agree with him there, but I mean
Yeah. I mean,
obviously in
I
the
don't
end,
think we can think of Steph as like a not clutch player. I
yeah.
just don't think he's one of like you watch like clips and like highlights and you just think of him as this like amazing clutch player. He's just like average, I'd say, for like superstars being clutch.
Yeah.
He's not like he doesn't like choke a whole bunch. I mean, last night,
Yeah.
game 7, but it's not like the most horrendous breakdowns. And
Yeah.
he's also like underrated as a facilitator and like a decoy in those clutch situations. Because
Yeah.
it's like it's one thing if you let LeBron shoot a clutch 3, but if I'm a coach, I'm never letting like in a game-winning situation, Steph Curry is not shooting a 3. Like I'm not letting him shoot a 3.
Yeah.
And so like it is a little bit different.
Mhm. Yeah. No, I
With
can
him
agree
being
with
the
that,
greatest
yeah.
shooter of all time, like you have to play him a certain way in those situations.
Yeah.
And I think the Warriors as a team are very clutch in
Yeah.
general.
I mean, you can just
So
the casual fan could have watched yesterday's game and just seen like how much of an impact like Steph Curry has in the game. I mean,
yeah.
they're like they were running a box and one on Steph Curry late in the game
How
with
yeah,
Davion Mitchell.
running a box and one in an NBA game is the most respectful thing you can do
Yeah.
to a
Shout
player.
out
Like
Davion Mitchell though. He's a
off
dog.
day.
No,
Off day.
he's a
Shout out.
dog though.
Yeah, have you heard why like they call him off day?
No, why do they call him that?
So they call him off day because like for the opposing team's best player, it's always going to be
It's
an off
off
day.
day.
Off
Yeah.
day. Shout out Baylor men's basketball.
That
Absolute.
team. Oof. That team is disgusting.
That team was
Um,
disgusting.
yeah.
Um,
But
yeah.
yeah,
Some
some
other
good series
series.
going
I
on.
mean,
Lakers Grizzlies.
Anthony Edwards. I would love to see him turn. I mean, he's been saying like it's
Yeah.
not over. It's not. But I mean,
No Nuggets
he
are gonna win that.
himself would have to will the entire team back. Lakers, Grizzlies, all kinds of injury stuff going on in
Dylan
that
Brooks shenanigans
series.
going on.
Dylan Brooks is so annoying. And I remember
But at the same
he
time,
beat Kansas. He dropped like 25
making it
against
about
Kansas in the
Kansas. All
Elite
right.
Eight, like when he was at Oregon. And I'll
We
never
don't care,
forget
bro.
that. Okay, fine.
Just kidding. But he lost in the championship game that year, right? To UNC. Or wait,
No,
no.
they didn't make the championship.
How far did they get? Was it Final
Final
Four?
four.
And they lost to UNC.
I forget who they lost to,
I
but
want to say it was UNC. It was UNC, Nova, or Gonzaga. One of those three. But
yeah.
yeah, you said about Dylan Brooks being whatever, but at the same time, you gotta love it. Like
You
it's
gotta
good
love
for
it.
the
He's like,
game.
okay, he's
It's good
Pat
for the
Bev, but
shenanigans.
he's not like he's just not. He's
It's
like a
so
corny Pat
entertaining
Bev. It
though.
is so funny though.
I love it.
Shannon Sharp needs to pop out for one of the
Yeah,
games.
he does. No, I love it though. Like I hate him like with all my guts,
Yeah.
but at the same time I love it. Like it's
Yeah,
great for the
for
game
sure. And
and the
then like
storylines.
yeah, for sure.
Um,
And then Knicks and Cavs. I mean,
jeez.
what's is it 3-1 now?
Yeah, 3-1 Knicks.
I still like
Don't you
I
dare pick the
still
Cavs.
I still struggle to say that the Cavs are gonna lose.
Oh my. You think the Knicks are
I think
gonna lose
if,
to the Garden when in a clinching game? No.
I think I struggle. Like if I'm gonna pick one of the upsets, it's the Cavs.
You think the Cavs are gonna win 3 straight? Bless you.
They could. I mean, again, Donovan Mitchell is the best shooting guard in the league. And
He has sucked this series, dude. He has like
yet
been really bad.
he has, but when he turns it on, he's like in the MVP conversation. Like he was in the MVP conversation early on this season, and no other shooting guard in the league I've turned this into a shooting guard debate for no reason.
Well, we can do this.
We've been talking about it with our basketball.
Get Sat Boy on this some other time.
Yeah, we'll get Sat Boy on the podcast. But I mean, they don't know what they're talking. Dude, shout out Ocean Lakes basketball coaching staff, who genuinely thinks that the Western Conference is better.
Oh my god, that's just because
that is the most fraudulent take. It's unbelievable.
The top 4 teams in the East would be anybody in the West.
Yeah, dude, the Nuggets, they're bringing up record into it. But like
cares?
That doesn't matter because you're playing like the same. You're playing teams in the West. The fact that like the West was so close, they seem to think that it proves that the West is like consistently good, but it actually just proves that the West is consistently mediocre.
And the truth is, in the NBA, literally nobody cares about the regular season. They don't care at all. Like, it does not matter. Precisely. They will load management. They will sit guys. They do not care as long as they make the playoffs. I mean, like the Warriors last year, Curry got hurt. The Warriors didn't care. They were the 3 seed, 2 seed.
Sounds right.
Something like that. It doesn't matter. They made the finals because they have Steph. Like, they don't care about the regular season. Records do not matter. So
yeah. And like, yeah, I mean, the Nuggets are just not. It's just not that good of a team.
Yeah.
The Grizzlies have shown to be like have fractures. The Lakers are very talented, but they're not gonna like.
But that's just what the Grizzlies do. Like, you always think
the only team,
and they do.
Yeah, the only team that genuinely has a chance to like even put up a fight against Eastern Conference team in the finals is the Suns, in my opinion. I think any other team probably loses in 4.
I can agree with that, but I think if the Lakers get to the finals, which means that if they get to the finals, that will mean that AD has been healthy. They're playing at their peak. LeBron's been doing his thing. I think if they get to the finals and they're at that point, they would put up a good series against anybody too. But that's obviously a lot of things have to go right for them. I mean, AD might stub his toe in the middle of the night and be out for the rest of the season. So
Day-to-day Davis.
Yeah, Anthony Day-to-day Davis, but yeah. But yeah, this first round has been a lot better than the past couple years. As far as I can remember. But
yeah, I mean, there's just like so much intrigue, so much like I don't want to say drama, but
I mean, there's
some drama. There's some drama.
Absolutely, in every series, really. Except maybe Sixers Nets. That was a horrible series, but Sixers the better team. So, speaking of which,
I mean,
NBA.
There was some drama in that though, like the Harden ejection.
Yeah, who cares, dude? Whatever. He that was more time for him to go to the strip club. He could leave early.
Whoa!
He was thankful he could leave early and get more time.
But that comment was so out of left field. I mean, like I was thinking the same thing, but like I didn't think you were gonna say it.
Well, I did, but yeah. But you brought up Trae Young stealing a game from the Celtics. That is huge. Because now that's more time for Embiid to heal, and the Sixers already have an extra day of rest because NBA scheduling is busted. And the Sixers play the day before the Celtics for whatever reason. Makes no sense at all. But so that was huge. But
I would just cry about it, dude.
I will. I've been doing that the past couple days, and I will continue to do it. So, if the Celtics lose to the Sixers, that will be the reason why. But they won't, so we're good. But yeah, I mean, you got anything else to say about NBA?
No, I'm excited to see how the rest of the playoffs play out. I'm excited for the draft Thursday. Tune in. We're about to record an NFL draft special right after this. Take a short intermission. But signing off for now, and we wish everyone a good one. Keep tuning into the Takes from the Lakes podcast. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok. And yeah, that's it.
See ya.
See ya.